But first tonight, one of Maine's most popular museums hasn't been open to visitors for 5 years. But now, slowly, it's starting to come back to life.
It is the Maine State Museum in Augusta, where generations of school kids, adults, and tourists have gone to learn about Maine's history and natural world. Why it's been closed and what's changed are part of the story that Don Kerrigan is here to share with us.
Hey, Rob and Sam. When that museum was forced to shut down in 2020 because of COVID, nobody imagined it would last for this long. But as Samantha just said, the museum is finally starting to come back to life, ironically, because of a very big animal that is no longer alive. 5 years after the Maine State Museum had to lock the doors and move out, there are, at last, signs of light. The new carpet is in. New walls are built on the main floor. The building is finally asbestos-free with modern heat and clean air. And besides new walls, they have a whale. A 45-foot humpback whale skeleton, carefully put together by Dan Dendanto and his team from Fremont, the new museum's first big exhibit. That's quite an honor.
Yes, it sure is. A huge honor.
Actually, there are two whales, the big one named Vector and a small whale calf. Dendanto says it will be the first such exhibit of a humpback adult and calf in the world. I mean, that makes this exhibit even more impressive.
Yes. I have about a half a dozen times been able to articulate what I call celebrity whales.
Vector has a name, he says, because when the big humpback was living, she was known. A frequent summer visitor to the southern Gulf of Maine, identified by whale tracking methods developed at the College of the Atlantic, where Dendanto also teaches.
Vector frequented the southern Gulf of Maine off of Cape Cod and Provincetown, where she was a very beloved animal, sighted almost every year.
In 2019, Vector was found dead. Dendanto was part of the group that recovered the body, and he brought it back in pieces to become a skeletal exhibit.
The idea first emerged about 2012.
Because the Maine State Museum had already been looking for one. Bernard Fishman is museum director.
So we've actually, at least conceptually, been thinking about a big whale for 13 years.
Vector, they decided, was perfect. But while Dendanto was doing the hard work of cleaning and preparing the skeleton, COVID struck, and the museum shut down. That began the long work to replace the worn-out HVAC system and the discovery of massive amounts of asbestos in the building. The abatement and rebuilding have taken years and cost more than $50 million.
So there have been all sorts of hedges and obstacles that have been overcome by us, by the museum, but also by the state of Maine to bring this building to a new life.
So when the big room was ready, Dendanto and his team moved in, bringing the whales in bone by bone and piecing them together, what he calls articulating the skeleton.
You first have to go to nursery school and learn the song that the head bone is connected to the neck bone and so on.
A steel pipe down through the spine provides support for the skeleton, the pieces held together by screws and special glue. Vector's position designed to mimic how she swam in life. And for the visitors may come the reminder, maybe the revelation, that these creatures of the sea have ribs and spines and fins, remarkably like our own hands. Vector and the calf were mammals like us.
And we're partners in this, keeping the Gulf of Maine clean and suitable for whale habitation is a moral requirement that falls on us, because as the world's dominant species now, we are responsible for that.
So as you see this starting to come back together, what's that feel like?
It's actually an unbelievable feeling of excitement and hope and joy.
For museum staff like Dr. Paula Work, installing the whales is a sign that life is coming back to this place.
The third floor is absolutely largely a new museum.
This main level, the third floor, is wide open for new exhibits, with some familiar ones too.
The Lombard log hauler is a favorite that's been here, and we were able to keep it here, and it's going to be incorporated into our Beyond the Postcard exhibit.
New displays will be built around them, and entirely new exhibits added. A replica white pine tree will frame another space. Downstairs will be some other familiar old things, like the historic locomotive called the Lion, but displayed in a new context. They've had to raise $3 million in donations for the new exhibits, but this is all giving a rare chance, a do-over essentially, for the whole museum.
But when you have the chance to do it all in a new way, and again, get that immediacy of excitement, when you can see that in their eyes, then you know you hit it right.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going for.
There is still a lot of work to be done, and opening is still a year away. But it has started, and all here agree it will be, when complete, a big and monumental tribute to Maine.
Yeah, everybody's going to be thrilled to have that come back. And that whale is very impressive, will be even more so when the exhibit is finished. By the way, as many people know, that building also includes Maine State Library, Maine State Archives. Those are expected to start moving back in the next month or so.
All right. Thank you, Don.
Well.